that's all we lived in.
People who've been waiting a bit in here, and we'll get as many calls as we can in this final hour of the show. We pick it up with Josh, who is in Ohio. Josh, thanks for your patience. You're on the air.
Hey, Eddie, how are you, buddy?
Good, man.
Hey, I had a Van Halen list for you. I'm going to start things off by saying I'm a drummer, so as much as people love Eddie, one of the major things I always go for with him is Alex.
Right. Well, that's a good point.
Really influence on me.
Yeah, well, Josh, and that references back to something Rich said earlier about the realization, like everybody's processing the fact that we've lost Eddie still. But then there's the other realization of thinking, well, now we've lost ever seeing Van Halen again. Like that's a whole separate thing. Like we're dealing with the emotional loss as a fan and the hugeness of this as a fan of this guy. But then think about the whole band, all of the hope that everybody had for seeing them live again and those live experiences, seeing it one more time, that's all gone. And somebody mentioned, do you think Alex Van Halen will even play anymore? I mean, he was so attached to his brother. Will he play drums at all? Is he the type of guy you'd see go out and play with another artist or put something together? I mean, we don't know. I mean, my feeling is probably Alex. I think you don't hear much from Alex. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And I don't know him at all. But that's the other consideration here. What happens? Could anybody envision Alex Van Halen getting up and jamming with Sammy and Michael Anthony or Roth? I mean, that's all stuff for down the line. But you're right. I mean, the acknowledgement that the band is gone with Eddie is another separate thing that's really hard to deal with.
Absolutely. And I just want to say one more thing before I give you my list. I'm 33, so the entire Van Halen catalog existed with the exception of Different Kind of Truth by the time I got into music. So I'm coming from it from that angle.
Right.
So number 6, I have Fair Warning. I love most of the tracks on here, but there is some experimental stuff that you had even mentioned it yesterday that I just couldn't quite get into. Dirty Movie Center Swing. Take it or leave it. Number 5, I've got Diver Down. Better than most people give it credit for. Little Guitars is one of my top 5 favorite Van Halen songs. I think it's very underrated. Number 4, I had 1984. Jump is better than most people give it credit for. Actually, I'll Wait is the worst song on the record. The other keyboard tune. Number 3, I've got our top 3 are exactly the same. So 3, I've got Van Halen 2. 2, I've got Women and Children First, and then 1, I've got the debut record.
Yeah, so the top 3 are the same for you and I, and then the bottom half switches around a little bit. Josh, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. And again, for people that don't understand what's going on here, in case you didn't hear yesterday's show, I had some fun where we ranked in order the first 6 Van Halen albums, the records with Roth. So we're getting some residual calls on people that didn't get through that still want to do that, which is fine. And as I mentioned, for somebody like Josh or people who are younger, we will at some point do the same ranking deal with the Hagar records. And we'll get into doing that at some point, maybe next week even, who knows. Tom in Canada has been waiting for a while. Tom, thank you. You're on the air.
No, it's Tim, Eddie. Tim. I don't know why they keep calling me Tom, but that was my nickname.
No, you know what? Totally my fault and not Maddie's. It's my bad vision because I read it as Tom and she did write Tim, so that's on me. Sorry about that, Tim.
No, that's cool, Eddie. Hey, you're great, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, and I love it. And the Van Halen, I think I got Van Halen running through my blood because since 1980, when I was a kid, I've been into them. But I just want to quickly say before I read my list, yeah, I'm a drummer too. And Alex and Eddie, I heard numerous times that they used to practice together for 2-3 hours a day, just the two of them. So I'm not, it's pretty hard on Alex there. So I'd like to see him do something, but, I don't know.
Well, look, in the history of Van Halen, he has been unbelievably loyal to his brother, and people that know about that dynamic know how connected they were on so many fronts. And now I can only imagine what he's going through and what he's dealing with. And somewhere down the line, when he has had a chance to process all of this and, from a personal standpoint, and he can figure out if he wants to do anything musically, he will, I'm sure, be, along with Wolfgang, the keepers of the vault, if you will, as far as what we may or may not get down the line, what he does or doesn't want to release from his brother. We'll see. I mean, still, I'm sure there's still very much grieving and dealing with this. And, we have not heard, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear what the arrangements are and if Eddie Van Halen has been laid to rest, because Van Halen has been unbelievably tight-lipped and private for decades. So I doubt they would have any sort of public acknowledgement or announcement of something going on as far as a service of some sort. But there had to be one, but we have no idea of if he had what his final wishes were, if he's laid to rest somewhere, if he was cremated, if he's going to be at laid to rest in a public place. Like, for instance, when I go to LA, I go and always visit where Ronnie James Dio is laid to rest, which is a place called Forest Lawn, which is in Los Angeles. And it's actually known for a lot of famous actors and musicians being buried there. So I don't know if at some point down the line they announce that and they say, yeah, Eddie was laid to rest here. And if it's in a place where people can publicly go and pay respects, I'm not sure. That's all stuff to be released by the family if and when they choose to do so. But I'm pretty sure, unless, of course, he was cremated, if there is some sort of public monument or a place he is laid to rest, eventually people find out about it and hopefully respectfully go there and pay their respects.
Yeah, it would be nice if they did something like for Vinnie Paul and Dime and that. But anyway, quickly, I just want to say I found my old pay stub from 1980, the Invasion tour from the Odd. It's in perfect condition, but the price of it, $8.50 American. Now that's cool. But anyway, I'll get to my list here quick. Okay, I got number 6, 1984. Number 5, Diver Down. Number 4, Fair Warning. Number 3, the first album. Number 2, Women and Children First. And let me explain why I picked Van Halen 2 for number 1. I thought that every time I go to pick a Van Halen CD to listen to, that has the perfect harmonies of Michael and Eddie. I just love that album. The only song I don't like on there is Dance the Night Away. I never listen to that. And I go inside the albums all the time. Women and Children First, great. Anyway, Eddie, thanks very much.
Okay, Tim, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for waiting. Here is Jay in Connecticut next up. Hi, Jay.
How you doing, buddy? Eddie, is this Eddie Van Trunk? Edward Van Trunk?
I've been called that over the years. People have said that to me over the years, but indeed. How are you, Jay?
I'm good. I hope you are doing well during these insane times. 2 things I want to say before I get to my Van Halen, which has been the topic the last 10 days, I think, since that was a week ago Tuesday. Mm-hmm. You should have went pumpkin. You should have went pumpkin picking with Curly when I spoke to you 2 weeks ago when the Giants got demolished by a second stringer by the 49ers. They got killed.
Well, Ace was in touch with me yesterday or Wednesday. He sent me a text, and he's building a studio at the new home that he is living in New Jersey, not far from me. And he wants me to come check out the studio. He said it should be done in a week or 2. So I'm going to go out and visit him.
Seasons in the Abyss from Slayer. I don't know. There's been so much
actually
Eddie going on.
I did. In one of the shows I did mention it briefly, just in the middle of all the Van Halen stuff, just in the general news. We did mention that.
Okay. And I know that Kiss is Alive 2 was an anniversary this week, and so is In Creatures.
Yeah, but those were anniversaries. And thanks, Jay, for the call. I'm just trying to move along because we got so many people waiting. Again, when it comes to anniversaries, and that's why even today, with Volume being 4 years old tomorrow, I mentioned it, but I'm not going to dwell on it because the way I feel about any anniversaries is maybe a mention if it's something like 32 years or 17 years, but I don't see the point of really doing a lot on anniversaries that aren't landmark periods of time, because it's just kind of like redundant. It's like, man, okay, somebody brings it up, an acknowledgement. Okay, Alive 2 came out. What